Howdy peeps, back again with another inbox review. This time of one of my birthday presents from the ISM group chat birthday pool. Very grateful I am too. It's the Tiger Model 1/35 scale Terminator 2 based on the T90 hull with the fire support turret. Mighty fine tank it does look too, quite imposing. God knows what it'd look like with a mine plough on the front as well. As you can see, got really nice box art. On the sides we have the model number is 4611, and one of the colour schemes, the two-tone grey and yellow, that is probably the one I'll go for because it does look very cool. And it's just different. Box ends are the same as the front, and then this side, a bit more bump about the vehicle. I'll get it up a bit. It comes with metal barrels, the top view, which is always nice to see all the different side views and top views and front and back. So when it comes to doing camo, you actually know what you're doing rather than guesswork. Workable tracks in the style of the Meng ones, with the track pads you can put on or leave off, and a nice juicy sheet of photo etch. Copyright 2016 as well, so it is a relatively new kit, and I think they've only been in the UK a couple of months. Now these are not a cheap kit. I think they're going around about the £70 mark at the moment. So yeah, it's not one I'd probably have bought for myself, but it's one I'm happy and glad to have. So I think the Meng one at the moment is about 35 on Amazon. It's the Terminator 1 obviously, not the Terminator 2, but it's not a huge difference. I had that get in there. One of my birthday cards. Been tidying up. Right, let's move that out of the way. Yes, I am a Yiddo. Right. So, what we get? Box full of plastic and funky bits. So, let's have a root through, see if we can find any destructions first, which are usually hidden at the bottom of the box. Being the first thing you want to get out, they put it in the bottom. So, we'll put them. I'm a bit cramped for space at the moment. I've got a couple of, well, one sensible size and one stupidly large build on at the moment. So again, yeah, thanks to the bench crew and the rest of the guys at ISM who got me this. But we shall move the advertising hoarding out of the way, as is the usual method. What do we get? Well, we get the colour callouts. We have a 3-tone brown splinter, so the 2-tone grey and yellow, 2-tone brown and black, and a 2-tone green and black. Victory Day Parade, Russian Arms Expos. Arms Expo and another Arms Expo. So and as with, it seems to be the case with Tiger models, a very Tamiya-esque instruction manual. A bit more probably a repeat of the guff about the thing. The size of the model, which, yep, 21 centimeters long, 115 mil wide, and 90 mil tall. It's on a kind of a buff coloured paper rather than the black and the white. So whether that makes a difference as to being understandable or readable, I don't know. We shall find out when it comes down to it. Numbered sprue maps, excuse me, which again, you know, some people love. For armour, I think they're kind of waste of time numbering them, but it's nice to have the sprue maps. Anyway, so if you can't find a bit, you can find what you're looking for. And as is usual with tanky type kits, we start off with the wheels, torsion bars, lower hull, front plate, lobbing all that together. Seems fairly simple. Oh, that's spotted something they've done nice. No, that's not so nice. It's asking you to, that'll be an etch part, that's why. There are hinges on the torsion bars that you've got to put the etch over and then melt the ends of the styrene over to make them workable. It seems a bit of a fudge to me, but we shall see how we go. When it comes to putting the torsion bars in, it does tell you exactly which order they go in, and the number is moulded onto the torsion bar, which will make life easier. And we've got the roller wheels, polycaps for the lower hulls, so not sure whether that means the upper and lower can come apart. Could be interesting if they can. It means it'll be a heck of a lot easier to get the tracks on. And a entrenching or dozer blade or whatever it is. And we have the rear plate, again nicely detailed, the tracks. These are the one thing I'm not really looking forward to. There is a basic how the tracks go together, but included in the kit is a step-by-step how-to on the tracks with all the jigs and everything. Tracks going on, which we will leave till last. Various drill hundreds of holes in the upper hull, glue the inserts into the sponsons, upper hull going on, and all the fiddly little bits going on to that, etch grills, various extra armour packs, next door's dogs are going nuts, the bar armour around the back. All looks sensible so far. The up armoured turret ring, and then we start on the turret, which all seems to be looking fairly sensible at the moment. Yeah, all the guns and weapon systems are fully movable on this, so it's one of those things whether you like it or you don't. It's nice, one of those nice things to have in a kit, that things are movable. Just so you can pose it in a different position to everyone else's. And then we've got the anti-tank missiles and the guns going together. The rest of the last few bits going onto the turret. And the turret, or the weapon system gluing onto the top of the turret, and then the turret going on the tank. So there we go. Looks fairly simple to me. What I've generally heard about this kit is it's a highly detailed one, but it's more simplified than the Meng version. So lower parts count, but as I say, just as if not more detailed. So should go together fairly rapidly, especially as you won't. I hate staples, right? So it should go together fairly rapidly. The tracks, depends how they go together. I might do the full run, I might just do enough to go up and over the. Oh, we got a bit. What's that? Ah, that's broken off of somewhere. What's that broken off of? Well, there's definitely something snapped off there. There you go. No, it doesn't seem to want to fit there, but it might be it. Oh, belly rumbles. Make sure I figure out and keep hold of that. I'll grab the bag back out the bin so I don't lose it. Right, bottom hole, I believe is the T90. Basically, well, it is. The lower hull is all T90. They just changed the turret, but that's what they're like in real life. Solid, well detailed, no flash. Should be pretty good. And the upper hull, just a quick check of the fit. Yeah, that's not going to leave any visible seams anyway. And upper hull, again, shame about the mudguard breaking off at the back, which I'm fairly sure is that piece. Doesn't, yeah, it does line up. But it's nicely detailed. All the stowage is already moulded on, but very crisp. And yep, looks like it will do the job. It's the multitude of holes to drill on the inside. Well, yeah, that should be. And again, pretty stiff, not warped either. Yeah, hull's not warped. So that's all good. That's apart from that little broken piece, which I shall make sure to pop back into the bag so I don't lose it, so I know what I'm like. And now we're on to going through the various sprues. So nope. Well, the staples came out of the bag, God knows where they went. Right. I'll probably find them later when I step on them. So this is a sprue S. It's one of the turret sprues or weapons sprues. There's, it actually says BMPT 72 on it rather than the T90. And as we can see, as you can probably, I'll just zoom you in a little bit so you can get a better view. That should be far enough. Yeah, a little bit more. The sprues are all fairly small. Healthy. I just have to keep looking up to remember where I am. So we've got, they look to me like parts of the rocket launchers. And again, crisply moulded. Nice rivet detail. All the latches and straps are all pre-moulded on. And yeah, the insides have got, well, shallow ejector pin marks, but again, they're not going to be visible, so we won't worry about those at all. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back in the habit of actually putting them back in the bags as I go. It's a lot easier than getting to the end of one of these reviews and trying to figure out which sprue goes in which bag. And right. Next up is definitely a T90 sprue. We have 3 of them. Now the wheel sprues. Oh, getting caught. There we go. Might just out of shot. Right, so we have, again, what looked to me to be very good and accurate and crisp depictions of the T90's road wheels. A few small greebly bits on there as well. Yes, they are polycapped on, so that's not an issue. Again, always going to be the case with these kind of tighter wheels and tyres. Sprue attachment point, sanding it off, you've got to be careful not to obliterate the actual ridges on the tyre detail. But it all looks good to me. Same on the back. Yep. Yep. So we've got 3 of those. Back in the bag. Put the bag back in the box. Next we have our, this is definitely going to be another T90 sprue, I'm fairly certain. We have 2 of, yep, T90 MS, you might not be able to read it, it's on the sprue. These are the drive wheels, idlers, gas can or external fuel tanks, towing hooks, greeblies, and again I can't fault anything on the sprue, it all looks very nicely detailed. I mean the castellated bolts on the actual sprockets have even got holes in them, so that's nice. And again, just very nice plastic. The detail is crisp and clear. There's, let's say, 0 flash. I can't. Doesn't even look to be any burring on the headlight covers. What do we have next? We have the actual missile, anti-tank guided missiles. I can't comment on what flavour or make or species of anti-tank guided missile they are. I wouldn't want to be hitting the head with one. Little gas caps, grab handles, lifting eyes. And again, all looks very nicely detailed, very crisp, no flash, no burr. There's a tiny mould line on the missiles, but that'll be gone with a couple of quick rubs with an ultimate thinny sponge. Great for getting rid of seam lines on round parts. So there's always a couple sat on my bench. So we get 2 sprues of those. Yeah, I suppose a bit of fun paperwork to go with this. So put that to one side for now. Now we get a bag of, I'm not even going to open these, it's like a gel in there for some reason. These are the track pin holder-inny bits, the end parts of the tracks, which are in a softer, almost rubbery kind of plastic. Probably the same stuff the polycaps are made out of. PVC rather than polystyrene. So we get lots of those. And we get a big old bag, which is, I'll pull one out. So these are the various parts of the tracks. We've got, what, 1, 2, 3, we've got 6 sprues of these. So we have the, check we're in shot, main track links themselves, onto which the guide horns clip onto there and then onto there, so you make up a run of however many it is that fit in the jig. Also have the separate track pads which you can fit afterwards if you so wish. I'll probably leave them off, to be honest, so I do like my tracks to look kind of gnarly. They are very, very nicely detailed tracks. How much of a pig they are to put together remains to be seen. But there doesn't appear to be any flash at all in any of the tiny little mounting areas, so they should go together okay. I might do the pads, we'll see. So go on that side. Whether they snap in or you got to glue them in, I don't know. If you've got to glue them in, I may leave them because that could take forever. Yes, I'm aware of the irony. Taking forever for me means probably a couple of hours, but you know. Now we're back onto some of the larger screws in the kit. I say there's not a huge amount to it. It's, I think what Tiger are trying to do, and quite probably succeeding it seems from what I've seen of their kits, is get Tamiya levels of engineering with, let's go with, who should we say? I say Meng levels of detail, or maybe Dragon levels of detail, just without making it a pig to build with a massive parts count. So we're now on to sprue N, which is another turrety sprue. So I've got what's in shot? So we've got the bar armour for the back of the turret. Lots and lots of little greebly bits. I haven't got a clue what they are. I'm assuming standoff armour, smoke grenade launchers, hatches, probably more stowage, hooks, everything. All the various accoutrements that go onto a turret. And yeah, again, sprue attachment points seem to be in sensible places and not too big. There's yeah, bugger all, flash or burr on it whatsoever. Yeah, okay, there's a tiny seam mould on the bar armour, but again, that's easy to get rid of. Especially in comparison to what I'm building at the moment anyway. And the back, yeah, not too many ejector pins. Where they are, they're shallow or barely noticeable. And I will actually just lift this up so you might be able to see it. On the backs of these parts, which I'm assuming is some kind of part of the armour, you've actually got the part numbers moulded into the back of them as well. I'm guessing mainly because they probably all look identical. Yeah. There'll be some minor difference to make them fit in the right places, so they've very helpfully moulded the part numbers into the back, which I thoroughly approve of. Because I do have a habit of cutting quite a lot of parts off the sprues and then going to stick them all together. And then going, whoa, damn, which one was this? Was this the left side, the right side? Front, back, I can't remember which sub-assembly that was. What? Even with the best intentions, they tend to get moved around on the bench. And I believe we're back to more, yeah, we'll be back to more T90 parts. I'm getting a lap full of staples here. Don't want to stab myself anywhere I shouldn't. So now we have the sprue, I'm trying to figure which would be the bottom and top of them, can't remember. Guess that's the top. Which is the idler arms or torsion arms. And front and rear plates, front upper plate, more stowagey bits, towing hooks. And again, everything looks really nicely detailed. And as I was saying with the instruction manual, you do have the individual part numbers moulded into each of the torsion bars, so you can chop them all off and then figure out which one goes where quite easily. A few ejector pins on the back of that, or was that the front? But that's one of the that actually is basically underneath the tank, so you probably won't see that at all anyway. I'll still give them a little fill or a rub down with something, just to take the edge off, or just smother it with mud so you don't even see the detail. the good enjoyous thing about building tanks. If you've missed an ejector pin and it's in an obvious place, you can stick some mud over it and no one will be any the wiser. Just don't tell anyone I told you that. Or you can stick a tarp on it. That also works well. Now we have the bar armour for the back of the lower hull, and that was various, again more assuming headlamp or tail lamp covers. Some very delicate parts on here though. We got I think is that the fuel lines or pass? I think quite a lot of these are the fuel lines. That's the aerial. He says pointing at stuff that's not in shot. So yeah, we've got a aerial there. Chances of that coming off in one piece and not snapping, slim to none. Nice to have it though. We'll probably have to take that off with a photo etch saw. So stressing it. But yeah, the bar armour, it's possibly slightly over thick for scale, but I'm not going to complain. It's beautifully moulded, and to get that stuff to correct scale is probably either not possible or just extremely difficult, and it would be so fragile you'd never get it off the sprue in one piece anyway. And again, on the back, all the ejector pin marks are actually on the sprue, so nothing to worry about on the parts. Again, minimal mould line on that bar armour. Just a few quick swipes with the sander will get rid of that. And we have the side skirts, which I'll just pop one out because yeah, they're slightly different one side to the other. And again, they're for the T90, one piece rather than many. Where you've got the actual armour plate, and then you've got the rubber skirt itself. Slight moulding notch there, or lump, as soon as sand off. We actually got the rubber texture, and if I turn it that way up, I've got a catch where it's kind of, well, bent, flexed, I suppose would be a more correct term for rubber, where it's just not hanging dead straight, which will give a good effect. And again, yeah, there are some ejector pins on the back, but you're never ever going to see those. Clear parts, periscopes and lights, blah blah, don't really need to be that clear. They do look fairly clear, or very clear I should say. And there are quite a few, but whether I actually remember to mask them off. Then we come to the turret. Comes packaged in a nice little box all at its own, keep it protected. I believe there's 2 or 3 parts in here. We have the turret top, the actual main turret ring armour, I would guess, to prevent any shot traps from jamming the turret or blowing it clean off, depending on what it was. One piece, slide moulded, very nicely moulded and very nicely detailed. At the turret base as well. Minimal detail on this, but that's because it's going to be invisible. I have to say it's probably the first time I've ever had a turret. Just put it in shot, just the engineering so it fits. How often do you build a tank kit and the turret just doesn't actually want to fit? You have to chop those things off, and if you try turning it, you just scrape all the paint off the top of the tank. And then we have the actual turret roof itself. It's nice moulding and stowage, and the panel lines are all crisp and clean. There's a fair bit to be added to this. I mean, this turret's going to get huge. And 3 mounts. So it just sits. Ooh, he says. And rotates, which is the front. I'm guessing that's probably the front. So maybe that's, I can't remember. Never mind, it doesn't matter. But I'll say it's nice to see that it comes protected in its own little box. So look after it. Make sure you get it all happy and in one piece. We're getting there, we're getting there. But here's what I was saying about earlier with the track assembly. We do get a much more detailed instruction on how to put them together and how to use the jigs, which are in this bag. There's 2 screws of track jigs. Quite why you'd need 2, because you're only going to be making up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links at a time. As you can see, it does look a fairly complex affair, but once you've done a couple of little rows of links and excuse me, got them together, it will soon get a lot easier, I would assume. Yeah, once you get it all figured out, you'll soon be able to trundle through them fairly rapidly. Just stick some tunes on, or a movie, or something like that. Just have an evening of tracks. And last of all, we get a little Ziploc baggie. Pop that back in there. Which has got all the shinies in it. So we'll pop this open. We'll leave those for now. Right, so we've got the polycaps for the attaching the upper and lower holes together. We have braided steel tow rope, which is always a welcome addition. Far better than plastic, or those nasty ones that you get with the dragon kits. Although the copper ones you get with trumpeter kits are all brass, right? Yeah, brass. Are they copper? I can't remember. Waffling. Yeah, those ones are very, very malleable, workable, so you can get them to sit in whatever shape you want. Next we have the photo etch sheet fret, which I'll bring up a little. Nothing huge on there, but as you saw from the detail on the kit, it's all really nicely moulded. We do have all the engine vents, obviously. And various few other little bits. No idea what most of them are. Those little etch brackety bits for the torsion bars, which you've got to melt the end of the pin over. We'll see when we get to those. I might just glue them in place. Decals, which is 2 stars and 2 flags. We're not even going to bother looking at those, I don't think. Polycaps for the wheels and